Talking with Bob Danley from the Lee Metcalf National Wildlife Refuge. Good morning, Bob.
Hey, good morning, Steve and everybody.
Well, what do you got going on this week?
Well, I know we talked a little bit about snakes last week.
Yes, we did. I think we scared everybody away from the Metcalf.
Well, I've got something that's similar in shape. It's very hot dog shaped, but it's not a reptile. It's a mammal, and we're talking about the weasels.
The weasel.
On the bird walk that we have every third Saturday of the month, we saw a short-tailed weasel. And obviously, that is really quite a sight for a lot of folks. Because
Now, wait a second. A short-tailed weasel, don't they all have long tails?
No, there's two. In fact, there's three kinds of weasels in Montana. Okay, they're called weasels for sure. And the three are the least weasel, the short-tailed weasel, and the long-tailed weasel.
Okay.
And sometimes those words really don't do justice to helping you identify. Now, the least weasel doesn't really happen here in Ravalli County. It's more in the counties to our north or to our east, okay? It's the smallest carnivore in the world, supposedly, okay?
Oh.
So I'm not going to tell you too much about that because you can't find it here anyway.
Okay.
Unless you go someplace else. But the other two are found on the refuge. And the short-tailed weasel has another name, and it goes by the name of ermine. Maybe that...
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
That'll give you a little picture in your mind. And ermine is French for white. And both these weasels do turn white in the wintertime, and it's caused by the temperatures cold temperatures stop the production of melanin, and that's why the fur goes from brown to white. Now, in the summertime, separating the two, long-tail versus short-tail, you would think that, if you saw them, it would be pretty simple, but no, they're moving really quite rapidly.
I was going to say, they're pretty fast little guys.
Yeah, they are, and but the one thing you want to look at is the color of the belly, or the chest and the chin. It's on a long-tail, it's a yellowish-orange, and on a short-tail, it's white. So
Okay.
if you get a pretty good look at that, you can separate them pretty easy. And they're very, very interesting animals. Now, as humans, we always talk about going on a diet. Well, short-tailed weasels really, really have to control their weight because if they get too fat, they can't go through the tunnels of the voles that they eat. Now, that is very fascinating to my way of thinking. And long-tailed weasels don't really worry about that. They don't really go burrow into the snow like short-tail. They're more taking things that are above the lower layer of snow, like rabbits, and they can also go aquatic and take invertebrates there. So very, very interesting animals. And
how did the birdwatching group see this weasel?
We were actually walking on the trail, the Kenai Nature Trail, in back of the office. It was running across the trail repeatedly, and that's pretty typical because, again, that what they're actually, the prey they're searching for are mice or voles, and that grassland habitat is really good for them. Plus, we have a bunch of fallen, dead tree material there, which they possibly could be using as a den site.
Great.
So, Yeah. There was a family of mink in back of the office, too, in which a lucky visitor saw the entire family of 5 mink playing around right at the bridge crossing our irrigation ditch or our aquatic education pond. So,
just another thing you can see at the Metcalf any time of the week.
Yeah, very, very cool, and they're still brown, so you really, it's really kind of beautiful